All right. Hi. Oh, it's not Friday. I almost said Friday. It's Tuesday, but it feels like a Friday. All right. So, welcome to your first official week. Today, I know some of you are kind of on the program, like following the days. Some of you, your days are sort of mixed up this week, and maybe they will be every week. It doesn't really matter as long as you know what you're doing. So today for most of us is a low carb day, and next Tuesday will definitely be a low carb day. So this is your second low carb day. Yesterday, you guys did an awesome job of, posting all your screenshots, and I reached out to a few of you individually just to make some adjustments. So from here on out should be smoother sailing at least. And we can always touch base as we go. But a few things that I wanted to make a point for today. Tips for your low carb day. If you, like most women, have been used to eating kind of high protein, low fat, low carb, because that's what we were told we should be eating, low carb days are going to be kind of difficult for you because you have to eat a lot of fat. Otherwise, you end up not eating enough food at all. Or like a couple of you went really high over on protein yesterday, right? Because you're kind of like, I don't really know what else to eat. You can go over a little on protein on your low carb days, but I don't want you going over by a lot because your body can convert protein into a carb, basically. It's called gluconeogenesis. So if your body is low on carbs, but has a really like prolific supply of protein because you went way over, your body can just take those proteins and convert it into glucose. So it kind of defeats the purpose of being low carb. So while you may go over a little bit on protein on your low carb days, don't go over by a ton because that just defeats the purpose. What you want to go over on is fat. Your body can use fat for energy, and it can use carbs for energy. It really can't use protein for energy without converting it to glucose. So you want to go way over on fat. Now, how do you go way over on fat? You kind of got to be creative. If you've never, done a keto diet or anything like that, you kind of have to be creative on how you get fats in your day. Low carb days, you guys have heard me say this before, but I'll say it again. Low carb days are an excellent day of the week to have fattier proteins. So whole eggs, like not egg whites, but whole eggs. Get the fat from those egg yolks. Have some bacon, cook a steak on the grill, even have like ribeye, right? Ribeye is a really fatty cut of meat. If you get a good grass-fed organic ribeye, you're getting tons of micronutrients in the fat that's marbled in the meat. So it becomes a really healthy source, and you're not doing it every day, right? But it's these couple of days a week that, feel free to have that red meat. Have lots of nut butter, eat some fattier nuts like walnuts, pecans, macadamia nuts. Those are fattier nuts than almonds are. So use those days to put fattier nuts into your, your yogurt concoction or something like that. Avocado guacamole is a great source of fat. You can have avocado on your salad. You can put it on your eggs. You can have veggies and guac. If you've never put a sliver of avocado into your protein shake, you are missing out. You can't taste it. At least I don't think you can taste it. Some people say they can taste it. I don't think you can taste it, especially if it's like a chocolate shake. You use your protein powder, your non-dairy milk, put a little sliver of avocado in it, and it makes it nice and thick, kind of like a milkshake. Throw some cinnamon in there. It's really delicious. Anyway, lots of creative ways to get fat into your diet. Butter up your veggies or use ghee if you're not a dairy person, or if you're not a butter person. Ghee is basically just butter with the milk solids removed, and you can find that in usually any health food store, or at least the health food section of a grocery store. It just tastes like really delicious, rich butter. So that's another option. Salmon is a fattier fish, so that's a great night to have salmon on your menu. Cook your foods in coconut oil, drizzle olive oil on your salads, things like that. So that's a great way to get more fat in your day to really hit your numbers on low carb day. I can tell you from the last round, after your 2 low carb days, your workout on Wednesday is going to be tough because you're super carb depleted. So on your low carb days, you really want to try and do a good job of really fulfilling all that protein. Work your way all the way up to those 50 grams of net carbs. If you eat a lot of veggies, you can get a lot of fiber and have more carbs, right? If you, let's say you have 20 grams of fiber in your day, technically you can eat 70 grams of carbs, right? Because your 70 carbs minus your 20 grams of fiber still gives you your 50 grams of carbs. Make sense? So lots of veggies on low carb day will give you that fiber so you can really have more carbs so that you don't feel so depleted for your workout on Wednesday. But just know going into it, your workout tomorrow probably won't feel amazing, especially if you were somebody that underate yesterday. Really try to fulfill those macros today and eat up your fat. Your body can use that fat for energy, I promise. Okay, anybody have questions yet? Nope. Not yet. Good. Okay. I'm going down my little list of notes here. Talked about that.
Hey, Bree.
Yes.
So you said we can have butter, but I thought we weren't supposed to have dairy. So I have not been eating any butter.
Yeah, it's I'm a big fan of grass-fed butter. I do ghee myself. Because you're not eating slabs of butter, it's really minimal dairy, and butter tends to be really low on the lactose scale anyway. Okay. I don't want to force anybody to buy ghee if they're like, why would I buy ghee? So you can use butter because it's such a minimal thing. If you have the desire to go out and try some ghee, I would do that just because it is more dairy-free. And to me, honestly, it tastes better and you can store it at room temperature. It doesn't have to be in the fridge. So you always have like that soft butter. So
I've been keeping it in the fridge. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you can keep ghee on a shelf. It's shelf stable because there's no dairy in it. It's basically just butter flavored kind of oil. So, anyway, yeah, good question. Okay, somebody mentioned really missing fruit on the low carb days. I know in the guidelines, somewhere in the guidelines in your comprehensive guide, it says no fruit on low carb day. You guys, you have 50 grams of carbs to work with. You have room for fruit. The best fruit to have is the lower carb fruits. So I almost always have blueberries on my low carb days. I'll put it in my yogurt smoothie. Sometimes I will have a handful of blueberries just to keep me close to that 50 grams of carbs because I feel better when I can fulfill that requirement as opposed to being lower. Some of you will be fine going lower on those carbs. To me, I really like to have that 50 grams of net carbs. So blueberries are a great option. Any of the berries really will give you some fiber in there, and they're lower on the sugar scale. So those are good fruits to have on a low carb day. Okay, let's see. All right, so let's move on to fasting. I do believe some of you aren't fasting this week, and that's totally fine. It's just an option, especially for the new people. Please do not feel like you have to do that. And then just as a caveat, if you have any sort of adrenal dysfunction going on right now, and there are a couple of you, you know who you are, you do not do the 24-hour fast. Okay, we do not do that unless our adrenals are functioning well. So if you know that you have a little bit of adrenal dysregulation going on, a little adrenal fatigue, you do not do the 24-hour fast. It's totally counterproductive for you. It'll make you feel worse. So that being said, you can fast any day this week that you like. I'm sure it's probably not going to be Thursday, but any day that works best for you, you're welcome to do it. Again, you can look in the files section for directions on how to do that if you need a little bit more guidance, or of course, just reach out to me. It can be your juice cleanse, it can be the 24-hour fast, or you can do the bone broth thing that's in there also. Okay, and lots of water, iced tea, hot tea, whatever kind of tea that you want on that day. Flood your body with nutrients, or flood your body with water, sorry. And another tip that I was going to give, I threw it out there to somebody else, but if you have a warm glass of water in the morning, preferably filtered, a warm glass of water, you put a half a teaspoon of sea salt in there and maybe a squeeze of lemon, that's kind of optional. Your body will really absorb the minerals from that salt, the water because it's warm, it can help you with your appetite that day. It's also a good idea. It calms your adrenals, basically. So it basically tells your body to let go of any stress that it might be holding. So it's a good idea to do. I actually do it every day, but it's a good idea to do on your fast day. Like I said, can kind of help regulate your appetite, but it also really hydrates your body. So another just kind of pro tip here, when you drink ice cold water, it takes a lot for your body to be able to absorb that right away. If you're drinking warm water or room temperature water, your body is going to absorb that much quicker. It's better hydrating for you. And then if you add the sea salt, just a half teaspoon is fine. That will also increase the absorption of that water. So on your low carb days and on your fasting days, the warm salt water is a great idea to hydrate you first thing right in the morning, okay? And of course, that won't break your fast. Still on fasting, if you find you can't make it to the 24 hours, you guys do not sweat it. I have done this several times now. Sometimes I make it to 24 hours just fine. I know there was once I made it to 21 and thought I was going to rip somebody's head off, so I just went ahead and ate. I mean, it's not the end of the world. If you really feel like you're dying, please eat. That's your body telling you maybe it's not quite ready for a 24-hour fast. Maybe you had a hard workout the day before. Maybe you didn't quite hit all your macros. Maybe you didn't sleep well. There's 100 reasons. Just listen to your body. If you can make it to 24 hours, great. If you got to cut it shy a little bit, that's cool too, right? Like nobody's getting a grade for this. Do what your body wants. Okay, on Thursday, no need to post your macros. You can, of course, if you want. I'll check them out. But I know I won't be posting mine. I want you guys to just enjoy your day. You know, socialize, be with your family. Remember the point of Thanksgiving. Yes, it's to have a great meal together, but it's also for us to be together and be thankful for our health and what we have. Not thankful that, you know, you have 8 pies sitting out in front of you and you have to taste every single one of them. Although I wouldn't
I'm thankful for that.
You know, I won't blame you if you do, but you know, Thanksgiving is a meal. Try to keep your indulgences to a meal. Try not to drag it out all day long. I know sometimes that's hard to do, but just keep that in your mind. Like you're sitting down to this really great hearty meal. It's all these foods that you look forward to every year. And it doesn't have to go on beyond that. Even if there's leftovers the next day, have some leftovers, but count them in your macros. Like plan your day. I'm going to have some turkey and some cranberry, and I'm going to have the sweet potatoes. Put it in there. You guys, when you put your the little sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top into your diary and you see how many calories are in those, it's going to change your life forever. But plan that. So even if you're having leftovers all weekend long, just put it in your diary, right? Count it just like your regular food. And then that'll help, you know, keep you on track. And then my last piece of advice is, I know there's going to be some alcohol flowing and some wine. You guys, totally fine. Don't feel like you have to not have that because you're going to have a piece of pie or whatever. This is Thanksgiving. Like it's whatever you want to make it. Just know, and you guys already know this already, the more alcohol you have, the less likely you are to have the resolve to stick to your plan or to say no to that second piece of pie or to say no to the, you know, cheese and cracker tray. So go into your day with some sort of plan in your mind. Like most of us know what kinds of foods are going to be at our Thanksgiving because, you know, we've been there before and we know who's bringing what, who's making what. Kind of plan in your mind, okay, I remember I really love this, so I want to have this. I'm going to have a little bit of this, a little bit of this. I might have a glass or two of wine. Just kind of have that resolve in your head before you go and try to stick to that, right? Like I said, you don't need to track your macros, but if you can think about it ahead of time and have some sort of plan going into it, it's going to be a lot easier to not really overindulge. So that's just my 2 cents. Anybody else have any questions?
I feel like as long as I stick to the turkey, I'm going to be okay.
Yes, but there's going to be 800 other things, right? So
I'm going to try to just do turkey, like turkey, Prosecco.
Turkey and Prosecco. I like that. Make sure you have some dark meat so you get some fat in there too. All right. Well, I want you all to have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Of course, you're going to hear from me again before that and all week long. So we'll keep each other accountable. But have a wonderful Thanksgiving, safe travels, those of you that are going somewhere. And if you have family come in town, I hope it's a wonderful experience. And None of them get annoying. Anyway, thanks so much for being here today. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. And then if you guys have extra questions, anything you think of once we finish, feel free to just post them after this video is posted. Okay? Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bree.